Hello and welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program. My name is WWEdeadman, but you already know that. We're gonna load my saved game here, my career mode. And we still have Jebediah on Eve, and I really wanna rescue him. Just because I don't wanna leave any Kerbal behind. And yeah, for that we built, I built a vehicle I call the Eveian Rescue Lander, or ERL. This is already Mark 3 of the thing, if I'm correct, or Mark 4? Mark 3. Yeah. That's that. Yeah. This thing is huge, and I kind of don't know how we're gonna get this to Eve. This is what I tried making. It doesn't look stable, it doesn't look good, it doesn't look like anything that would ever get to fly. Of course, there is nothing on it in perspective of crew, because it is remote controlled. Yeah. Thing about ships with that many parts in KSP, you're gonna see it right now after the loading screen. If I don't time accelerate my recording, this is it. Now, this is pretty much 1 to 3 frames per second. That's what the game is running on when I'm trying to launch that thing. Yeah. Looks awesome, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm gonna time accelerate this thing for you a little bit while I do this, and for the launch I'm actually gonna stop the time acceleration. Notice not in-game time acceleration, that is time acceleration post in only the video, not in the actual game. And as you see, this is not stable at all. Wobbling around, and whoa, where are you going? No, don't over, not over there. Come on. You don't want to go to the north. I don't want to have a polar orbit. This is time accelerated now again. Just so you see what this thing wobbles around like. The bad thing is, I didn't really figure out the fuel stuff too good on this one. I end up having no fuel anymore for some of the engines, and the boosters are just something I can't stop from burning, and I have to actually decouple just to keep this in air. Bad thing is that makes the boosters go right up into everything, and everything explodes. Yeah, that's probably not very safe. Having a huge ball of fire in the air right over your space center is not the best way to show off superior space program stuff. Yeah. Well, I end up decoupling everything up to the actual lander just to get a test landing going. The bad thing is, when I open the parachutes, I kind of destroy the thing again, and we have another fireball in the air. Yeah, and all the parts make a nice firework on the ground. So this is pretty much a failure through and through, but before redesigning that, I decided, hey, I have the rescue capsule as well. This is the capsule that I will have Jebediah go into once I get him to space with the lander. Yeah, of course we can't have Bob flying this thing because we need the rescue capsule to be empty. That's why we have a Stay-Putnik on the top of the capsule to control that thing while going there. Yeah, I put my solar panels on my first custom what's the thing called, action group, just so I don't have to extend them all manually. The thing is based basically on a very modified version of the Deadweight 1 engine-wise. So we have the capsule and the Stepatnik and an SAS, and then a modified version of the of my first ever rocket engine that worked so very well that it actually sent stuff to escape orbit around the sun. So an escape trajectory around the sun. So I'm pretty much fine with that. Anyway, we've got the launch of this thing coming up in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you see, this flies way more stable. Looks way more like an actual rocket. And yeah, generally just works better than what I made up out of the other thing. Yeah, this is pretty much your standard launch. Wait until the boosters burn out, get rid of those, fire up the main engines until you get speed again. Yes. And then wait until you come up to the upper atmosphere to actually go into the gravity turn. However, I kind of started it early. I mean, it's already flying at an angle. Well, usually at around 9 to 10,000 meters, you're gonna start the gravity turn by turning to 90 degrees. About 45 degrees to the surface, so you're gonna see what I mean with that. That's too many degrees in one to actually think about. Now that I think about it, actually, that's not a word I would have used there. Actually, why would I use actually? Anyway, that's what I was trying to say. Anyway, yeah, that's the 45-degree angle I'm going up at, and I'm gonna time accelerate this for you a little bit, because. Yeah, this isn't really something that you need to see. We're gonna go up to about 70 after, of course, decoupling here and getting another nice light show right now, because that stuff just disintegrates in the flame of the main engine firing up. Anyway, I say anyway too much. We go up here to our apoapse burn, yeah. And actually get this thing to have an orbit. I'm also going to extend the panels, of course. Just so I totally overshot the apoapse there. But nonetheless, we get a nice orbit around Kerbal. Nice circular orbit. Yeah, there you see that. That's a stable orbit, and we could totally just get ourselves out of the Kerbal system with that. There's a little bit of fuel left on the extra tanks. Those are gonna fly off as soon as they're empty. And those are drained before the main tank in the middle. So, where we want to go is Eve, so we kind of need to burn ourselves out of the Kerbal system in the opposite direction of the direction that Kerbal itself travels in. So, what I'm doing here is I'm getting an escape trajectory. Notice that I misplaced that thing horribly, so I would rather go to Duna or something and try to place it here instead, so that I actually burn in the right direction. to get our orbit around the sun down a little bit so that we actually get to go to Eve more easily. Yeah, time accelerating that a little bit around Kerbin, so you don't have to watch that. It's pretty much just orbiting, so that's pretty much not what you want to see, probably. Yeah, then we burn ourselves out of the system. Get rid of the tanks. Bye-bye. You can go back to Kerbin for all I care. Would be nicer than having it float around Kerbin forever. Yeah, I probably should have burned a little bit more to get the periapts over there a little bit more down, but I didn't want to waste too much fuel because we have to go back at some day, and that's just something that I need to do. Bad thing about this is I totally forgot to... Oh yeah, and I totally switched to a flag on the ground instead of getting back into a ship. There. And obviously we are too slow a little bit because we have an orbit in the picture of the space center, and we only have the escape trajectory on this screen. I don't know what that is. That's just sometimes the game cannot decide whether or not I can escape. It's just something that happens. So yeah, we happen to actually get to the escape point here, and then have a orbit that goes back to Kerbin for some reason here. So I decided to give a little bit more thrust just to burn away those little faults of the physics engine. And actually getting into an orbit around the sun. Yeah. Get out, come on. Yeah, there we go. Now we're around on an orbit around the sun. And we can actually get an encounter with Eve. I'm going to fast forward that a little bit because that's maneuvering nodes over and over and just essentially trying to get the nodes to hit exactly where we want it. So we get this, our encounter with Eve. Now it's just a matter of time to go over there. Yeah, a little bit of optimization there, just to be sure. Get over here. And for some reason, I decide to kill the node when I arrive. Probably shouldn't have done that. As you see right about... Hello? Doing something? Yeah, right about now I start burning. And there I kill the node. For some reason. I mean, of course, I don't really need it because I see when the encounter happens. Which is right here now. And that's actually a pretty good encounter, and I optimized that a little bit by burning a little bit more. But, as you're gonna see, this is not going to go very well. I'm gonna time accelerate until the encounter with Eve. And I'm actually accelerating this even more for you guys. Because this is just waiting, pretty much. Getting a look at our ship and how much fuel we have left. And then we go until the encounter. And the encounter is coming up right over there. Up until now. Now the encounter suddenly is somewhere over there. And probably not in any way in a distance to the planet that makes me wanna do an orbit around it. Yeah, I tried to actually set a maneuver node to get our our periapse down, but I couldn't get the blue line, and I just decided to reload and maximize my optimization on the first node, because I just couldn't get, as you see, the blue thing here. Yeah. And then I decided to reload. Do this whole thing over again. This is 10 times time accelerated. The highest time acceleration my video program can do. Yeah, get this done. Get this done. And actually have a pretty close encounter to Eve. And fast forward to the actual encounter. About right now. And there we go. A little bit of more optimization there. And here we have the encounter going on in 3, 2, 1. Come on. Come on. Oh, go a little bit faster, you stupid ship. And encounter. So now this is just standard setting a maneuver node to get our periapse down to a reasonable height. Cause that's a little bit high for our periapse. And I don't want to actually have a very high orbit, because I don't think we're gonna get the lander anywhere near that height. So we want to have a low orbit, just in case. Yeah. We're gonna get the periapse down and actually make the orbit a little bit more equatorial and less inclined. And yeah, that's then pretty much it. I actually managed to get the periapse pretty in a pretty okay distance. One that we should be able to get to with the lander. Yeah, one thing that we have to do then when we get the lander there and actually get Jab onto it, we gotta have him go into his capsule once, just to fill up his jetpacks, because he doesn't have any fuel left in there, because I used up all the jetpack fuel to try to get him back into his capsule at least, so I could at least send some data back home. But that's all nothing that actually happened. Yeah, I end up burning the periapse down to a reasonable height, and fast forward to there just to circularize the orbit, getting that down to a reasonable height, killing that maneuver node, and then we're gonna time accelerate over there, and I'm accelerating the video again because this is pretty slow, because I didn't want to overshoot, which is pretty reasonable, I guess. Set a Nova node there to circularize the orbit. I was pretty much hoping that I could get this done with the main engine that we still had on, and not with the nuclear engine. Replace that node a little bit because we didn't burn out the periapse according to this. I think this is good enough for an orbit, if we get that. So I end up time accelerating to that point. This is normal speed again. I am obviously concerned about something here, because I'm not doing anything. Hello? I don't know what I was doing there, because I didn't see anything that I was doing. Probably thinking about how my fuel could run out, I don't know. Or probably thinking about whether or not to make this less inclined orbit. Maybe I was talking to someone, I don't know. Anyway, I end up burning pretty early because I pretty much knew that I had to burn with the nuclear engine eventually, so I didn't want to run out of time for the burn. There we have it, an orbit around Eve. Just bring that apoapse down to a reasonable height. And actually, playing this game makes watching actual NASA launches of or NASA, if you want to pronounce it very American. NASA launches, yeah, they launched the Maven mission a while ago. A pretty short while, that is. Just a week or two ago, and I watched it on live stream, on Ustream. I think it was, yeah, it was Ustream. It's nice that they stream their launches live. That's pretty much awesome. And seeing all the data on screen with apogee and perigee data and all the burn stuff, and yeah, there I go decoupling the empty engine and burning with the nuclear engine for a little bit. Just to be sure that I don't waste too much of the fuel. I end up stopping about here though. Yeah, as I said, that Maven launch was pretty awesome. And I'm probably gonna watch each and every launch that I can get a hold of. Just because it interests me now. So, this is our orbit around Eve. That down there is Jebediah waiting with his right next to his capsule. I end up actually, did I do anything about the inclination? So I go more over the top of his head? I don't know. I don't think so, because I just needed to really get the lander to land exactly where he is, because I don't really want to walk that far on Eve. Apart from the fact that I probably don't want to land the lander on water. There in the distance we can see Curiosity, my probe on Duna. That's something nice. Yeah, anyway, we end up going back to Space Center, redesigning our missile for... Missile? Really? No, not a missile. Even though it exploded first, it is not a missile. Anyway, like and favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. And until next time, I'm WWEdeadman. Bye!